Hey everyone! So this is going to be an all signs reading for Beltane messages. We're going to start with Taurus and go to Aries. Beltane is a Celtic celebration for anyone who does not know. It gives me an excuse to use this deck, which is the Beltane Oracle from Seasons of the Witch. And if you know me, you know I love Seasons of the Witch. They're like my favorite Oracle decks. So whenever I can use them, which is typically seasonally, I get really excited. I'm going to try to get this uploaded for May 1st, May Day, which corresponds with Beltane. So with Beltane, we're talking about fertility and life and health and wellness. It's a fire festival. So basically it's about, protection and celebrating life, celebrating birth and renewal and all these things. It's like the halfway point between spring and summer, right? The solstices. I don't know if that's actually true based on our calendar, but that's the typical traditional rationale behind it. So I love all things Celtic, as you might also know if you know me. Despite not really being very Celtic, I'm Welsh and English. My daughter, however, is Irish and Scottish, so we're basically anarchy in the UK over here. So I'm just going to get started, and of course then I'm going to be super annoying, and I'm probably going to break this up into individual videos as well, because that's always fun. So, Sagittarius. Alright, are we done with Goddess? No. We need it for Pisces. Okay. Sagittarius, you got card number 1, which is B. And it says, don't drink all of life from one flower, for there are many to taste and many to explore. And I have to keep myself from laughing because, once again, don't get offended or upset, but 1, 2, 3, 4 on my clock. But Sagittarius, y'all have a reputation, right? I'm not going to use any inappropriate language, but I mean, that's the nature of your sign. You are mutable fire. So Sagittariuses have a reputation for chasing passions, right? For being impulsive. If you're connected to a Scorpio, I just talk to them about goofy, impulsive energy and why you should avoid it in your own behavior and in that of others. But back to you. Once again, not to offend you, but astrologically speaking, Sagittariuses are famous for being a little bit flighty, a little bit fickle, and some of them have been known to taste all the flowers, and so that makes me laugh that you would get this card. And I feel like whether or not that is who you are as a person, because I certainly know Sagittariuses who are not that way at all. In fact, it's the opposite, and I do feel like that is an astrological fact of the world that is often overlooked. For example, I'm a Pisces. Pisces are known to be dopey, drunks, drug addicts, whatever, really spacey, sort of living in the ethers people. And I feel like, okay, once in a while I might be living in the ethers and a little bit dopey, but I have been very anti-drugs, alcohol, substances my entire life, basically. And I have 5 academic degrees. I'm not stupid, right? So I know, my point is that I know that we are not all a stereotype. In fact, a lot of us aren't. But this is making me think that your advice is kind of to be in your own energy, which is similar to the messages that I'm getting for everyone else already as well, is to just really embrace your own energy be who you are, get in touch with who you are, and make sure that you're reflecting that, right? Card number 1. It's a card about yourself, about who you are. And my lighting in here is shifting. It's really interesting. But and not settling. And that's basically, jokes aside. This card is about not settling. This is a card about not taking that first offer, not, subscribing to that first flower and its source of nourishment and whatever. It's, trying the next one too to make sure that there isn't a better fit for you. And that's perfectly okay, right? It's perfectly okay to not be stagnant, to not settle. I mean, I hope that doesn't need to necessarily be said, but absolutely, I've seen way too many people, not to go off on a tangent, but I've seen way too many people settle in a marriage, for example, and be miserable for years, decades, whatever. I mean, to me, that's the saddest thing in the world. It's the saddest thing in the world for people to feel like they are trapped with this other person for life, or for the majority of their life even. It's just like, man, I can't. And I mean, I have Sagittarius in my chart. I have a 9th house sun and a 9th house Mercury, so maybe I'm a little bit that way too. I have never been married, and I mean, that's part of it, man. I love how I'm just going off on you, like as if we're friends or whatever, but for real, I support that. I don't think anyone should settle. And, I don't think you should worry about what other people think either. So the key word here is possibilities. And I'm just going to scan this. This kind of goes on for a while. Potential. Trust your inner wings to guide you until your potential is distributed to the right place. Excuse me. Aha. This line. One lost opportunity will be replaced by another, but perhaps wrapped in different packaging. One relationship gone will be filled with the love of someone who can better attend to your needs, even if this new love is the exact opposite of your usual type. Interesting that I brought up opposites and, defying stereotypes and things like that. Yeah, you can't build without the right resources. You must be willing to leave the comforts of home in search of more. I mean, that could be, this does not have to be a relationship, obviously. I hope it's obvious. But yeah, this is about it's Jupiter energy. It's about expanding your horizons, going beyond your boundaries, seeing new things, right? Like, it doesn't have to be, being promiscuous or anything like this. It's just about having the courage to explore and not get, what's the word I'm looking for? Not get dragged down into certain spaces, whether they be physical or mental or emotional, and just really, once again, understand your value, and that, you could always have more. I mean, that's basically what Jupiter says. You can always have more. You can always expand. Jupiter is your ruling planet, by the way, if you didn't know that. Okay. Let's see if we can get any other messages for Sagittarius. There's a train. The Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. I mean, I said what I said. The Nine of Pentacles is about, I mean, it's often a card of being single, but not only that, it's a card of being good on your own. It's a card of having enough for yourself and having enough to share with others. Ideally, this is what you're looking for in a partner or any situation, right? Someone who can take care of themselves and has something left over to offer to you. And for some reason, this is a focus for you right now, is your own independence and your own fulfillment. It's also a card of your surroundings and your environment and how they can, contribute to your, your wellness, your happiness, whatever the emphasis is here for you. I don't want to translate it too much for you. So for some of you, this could very well be about travel, right? It's a Sagittarius theme of travel, going somewhere else, going somewhere new, seeing new things, being inspired, expanding your experiences so that you can expand your life and your knowledge, right? That's what Sagittarius is all about, like at its root. So I think I said everything I can say here, because the Nine of Pentacles sort of just echoes everything that we've already talked about. But yeah, that's it. Don't settle. Don't get stagnant. It's not who you are. It's not what you're meant to do. Right? So good luck, Sagittarius. Happy Beltane.